Ian Machado Garry certainly doesn't have a shortage of rivals or haters. Since bursting onto the UFC scene 4 years ago, the Irishman has become a seriously polarizing figure. He's stacked up an impressive 9 wins in 10 fights, with his only loss coming against the formidable Shavkat Rakhmonov. The defeat slowed his title chase, but he bounced back with a win over Carlos Prates in April. Now, he's got a massive opportunity. This Saturday at UFC Qatar, he faces Belal Muhammad. A win here could finally put him in line for his first shot at the welterweight belt. But there's at least one UFC legend who will definitely be cheering for him to lose. So, who's got beef with the future? Well, it's none other than the former light heavyweight champion Rampage Jackson. The feud started over a simple podcast misunderstanding. Garry was scheduled to appear on Rampage's Jackson podcast during UFC 298 Fight Week. But just a few days before, Rampage went on Ariel Helwani's show and claimed Garry was scared to come on because he thought he'd be made fun of. When Garry heard this, along with some of Rampage's other comments about his family, he was not happy. He fighted by calling Rampage stupid for making the claim just days before he was supposed to be a guest. Naturally, he then pulled out of the podcast appearance. Later on, an episode with Anthony Pettis, Rampage doubled down, explaining why Garry is the one fighter he just can't stand. He admitted it was all a mix. He said, "Right now, there's only one fighter I don't like, Ian Garry. I can't stand him. He's a B. Personally, I don't like him." Rampage explained that his business partner had told him a fighter was worried about being made fun of on the show. Rampage assumed it was Garry, but it turned out to be a different fighter entirely. He then quoted Gary's reaction, saying, "Ian Machado," Garry said, "How the F is Rampage so thick? So stupid he didn't know I was coming on his podcast." It seems this misunderstanding has created a lasting grudge. And Rampage isn't the only one on Gary's radar. While gearing up for his own huge fight, Garry was paying close attention to the recent welterweight title fight at UFC 322. He watched Islam Makhachev completely dominate Jack Della Maddalena to become the new 170-pound king. Garry and Della Maddalena have some history stemming from comments the Australian made at a press conference. So, when Della Maddalena lost his belt, Garry didn't miss the chance to rub it in. He took to social media right after the fight, slamming Della Maddalena's performance. He called it one of the weakest title defenses of all time. It's clear Garry isn't afraid to speak his mind, whether it's about former champions or current rivals. His strong personality and willingness to engage in trash talk have definitely earned him a lot of detractors, but also a lot of fans who love his confidence. With his fight against Belal Muhammad this weekend, he has another chance to prove that he can back up all that talk inside the octagon. A victory would put him one step closer to the title, and you can bet he'd have a lot to say about it. What do you think about Ian Garry's approach? Is he just confident, or does he cross the line? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more UFC news and analysis. Thanks for watching.